The Rick and Morty Killer, the bizarre case of Denver Fenton Allen. Alright. This video is by Wavy Web Surf, another YouTuber I've been watching a lot lately.
Many of you are likely familiar with this creation by Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland. Without context, it's a simple animation of Rick and Morty in a mock trial hurling expletives at each other.
You know something? You are absolutely the rudest person I think I've ever met.
You reckon if I let you suck my that I could get a fair trial here?
Oh, I don't think so.
I got a big now.
But what you have to realize is that the vulgar dialogue in this viral animation, it actually is a word-for-word recitation of a real-life court transcript that resulted from a pissed-off judge getting in an altercation with a schizophrenic murder suspect. And when you come to that realization, that's when a rabbit hole opens up. Who exactly was Denver Fenton Allen?
I have no idea this
and what were the
happened,
crimes
bro.
committed by this clearly deranged man that led to the now infamous courtroom altercation?
I will murder you, your whole family, your kids. I am not supposed to be in jail. I was framed. That motherfucker asked me to eat his ass for a bag of coffee.
In what might be one of the most bizarre exchanges in the American justice system's history, this is the story of Denver Fenton Allen, the Rick and Morty killer.
So I'm assuming he did it, allegedly.
I want to give a big shout out to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding customized to fit your specific needs and ships it all right. Infamy of this court case stems back to San Diego Comic-Con 2016. At a panel, Rick and Morty co-creator and voice actor Justin Roiland would introduce the audience to the previously niche yet remarkable case of the state of Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen. Roiland had discovered this bizarre case in its transcripts online. Reading the transcripts word for word in Rick and Morty voices, this was the result.
Can we get a court order to get my dick sucked, sir?
You're so cute. I know all the inmates just love you to death.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I bet.
All the white butt boys love me to death, too.
Okay, well, I'll bet they do.
Crazy.
I'll kill your whole family. When I get in this trial, I'll murder your whole family. I'll cut your children up into pieces. I'll knock their brains out with a fucking hammer and feed them to you.
Okay.
I'm subpoenaing y'all's ass in the courtroom.
Needless to say, the audience loved this and found it comedic gold. The animatic was officially released a month later on August 4th to Adult Swim's YouTube channel and almost immediately went viral, amassing over 10 million views and generating discussion across the internet. It would become legendary online, and as public awareness of the state of Georgia versus Denver Fenton Allen grew, people began wondering, what exactly did Denver Fenton Allen do? What crime did he commit? And
So I'm starting to believe it's not a killer that killed because of Rick and Morty. I'm now starting to believe he's just a killer that so happened to be featured with Rick and Morty.
what were the circumstances that led up to the altercation with the judge? This is Georgia man Denver Fenton Allen. Allen has a long and storied criminal history. His record goes back over a decade. False imprisonment, armed robbery, kidnapping, these are just some of the charges the man has faced. But for the purpose of this video, we need only to go back to 2014. In November of this year, Denver Allen was arrested for making terroristic threats. The exact details of these threats aren't publicly available. Allen would be initially jailed at the Bartow County Sheriff's Office in Northwest Georgia. While in jail, custody officers noted a sharp decline in Denver Allen's mental state. And the man would prove to be quite the unstable individual, with Denver Allen reportedly making it a habit to threaten the lives of custody officers and the Bartow County Sheriff on numerous occasions. In August of 2015, Denver Allen, to the delight of everyone at the sheriff's office, would be transferred to another jail, a facility more accommodating of his disposition. On August 19th, he was transferred to the Floyd County Jail and given a cell in the O Block, an area of the prison designated for inmates with mental and behavioral issues. But moving Denver Fenton Allen proved to be a disastrous mistake, as just 5 days after being moved, Denver Allen would kill his cellmate Stephen Rudolph Nally, a man who was much older and smaller in stature than Denver was. According to reports, Denver Allen waited until his cellmate was asleep, then bashed the man's head into his bed rail in order to kill him. Prosecutors allege that Stephen Rudolph Nally was apparently chosen by Allen as an easy kill target, the murder to boost his reputation in jail. In the days following the murder—
You already know what I'm about to say. Pick up the prison, toss him under, blop. Actually, no. Pick up the prison, dig a little hole, dump in that, cover the hole, then bob.
murder, Allen was said to have bragged about it to prison guards and inmates alike. And sometime later, Denver Allen reportedly mailed out photos of the body that were taken by crime scene analysts. He was a sick individual. Now, naturally, Denver Allen was made to go to trial for the killing of Stephen Rudolph Nally. Denver Allen would then be appointed an attorney. A public defender would aid in his legal representation in the case. Given the erratic behavior showcased by Denver Allen, his public defender questioned the man's mental state and felt he was unfit for trial. By request of counsel, Allen was sent to Central State Hospital in Milledgeville to receive a psychiatric evaluation. There, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and delusions, among other things, but was deemed cognitively aware enough to stand trial and have involvement in his own defense. Unfortunately for his public defender, that meant the erratic man was able to influence his own trial and make decisions on his own behalf, making mistakes and ignoring counsel every step of the way. Against the advice of counsel, Denver Allen would pursue a not guilty verdict, despite there being overwhelming evidence proving that he committed the killing. Now let's meet our judge, the other half of what would become the infamous altercation between the two individuals. This is Superior Court Judge Bryant Durham Jr. This particular judge was well known and respected and had been voted into his position by the public several times over. Durham had a clean record of conduct throughout his career and was known for his civility and level-headedness from the bench. However, this Denver Fenton Allen case that he was presiding over would prove to be quite challenging in the aforementioned regards.
I bet it was.
In initial court appearances in preparation for the trial, Denver Allen would request a new public defender, claiming that his attorney was requesting sexual favors in exchange for proper legal representation. So during a preliminary hearing on June 16, 2016, Allen would bring up this concern with the judge. And it was during this 11-minute courtroom appearance that the infamous transcript was born. Allen begins by explaining to the judge a theory that he has. This theory is that his attorney, that he's accusing of being a sexual harasser, also conspired with the doctors at Central Hospital to get a schizophrenia diagnosis landed on him.
This lawyer has made sexual advances on me. He's misrepresenting my case. He told me if I wanted him to do a good job, I had to let him give me oral sex. He's had doctors at Central State Hospital put a false diagnosis on me.
Okay.
But Judge Durham didn't believe these claims and said that if Allen wanted to appoint a new lawyer, he would have to pay for one or represent himself. Swapping public defenders wasn't going to be an option. And he would also go on to remind how risky it would be for Allen to go on trial defending himself.
I'm not going to trial with this attorney.
Well, you've got two choices. One, you can go to trial with them, or two, you can try the case yourself. Now, I definitely completely think that's...
And I've got a right to have...
Wait a minute, listen to me. That would be the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life.
And it's when Judge Durham questions the man's ability to defend himself in court, that's when the argument starts to get heated.
Listen to me.
Go yourself. I'm through here. Y'all done?
I'm finding you in contempt of court.
I don't care.
I know you don't, and I sentence you to 20 days for that. And if you say anything else, I'm gonna add 20 days for everything you say.
You.
40 days.
You again.
60.
Go yourself.
It should be noted that Durham could have
No way this happened, bro. No way this happened. This is actually a scene from Rick and Morty.
Hearing at any time. The judge wasn't known for entertaining contemptuous criminals wanting nothing more than to get under his skin. But there was something about Denver Fenton Allen that seemed to strike a nerve with the judge. And what starts as cheeky rebuttals from the judge eventually walks into the realm of compromising the trial. At one point, the judge famously slips up and says that Denver Fenton Allen looked like a queer, which could be grounds for a mistrial under discrimination. Perhaps this is what Denver Allen was looking for.
You prefer men.
I boys.
You prefer men, right?
I white boys.
You know, you look like a queer.
Well, okay, so now you're calling me a queer in the courtroom?
I didn't call you one. I said you looked like one.
The argument just gets nastier and nastier, with Denver Allen making threats against the judge's family.
I'll kill your whole family. And when I get in this trial, I'll murder your whole family. I'll cut your children up into pieces. I'll knock their brains out with a hammer and feed them to you.
And when Denver brings family into it, the judge just completely loses it.
Gonna work. You ain't
gonna tell me shit.
Listen.
Suck my
Shut up. Listen to me.
Suck my you.
That's where this come
Listen.
from? That's where this sound comes. I be seeing this shit on TikTok all the time. That's That's
My
tough.
You will be here in the court on
You'll
Monday.
be here sucking my
Well, listen to me now.
Go yourself.
Finally, after an 11-minute expletive-filled back and forth, Denver Allen is sent out of the courtroom and the altercation is over. The bizarre exchange was almost immediately publicized. The transcript was first spotlighted by a law blogger on Twitter who posted an Imgur link to scans of the documents produced by the hearing's court reporter. And from there, the transcript went viral. Even mainstream news covered Allen and Durham's war of words.
A North Georgia Superior Court judge is off a murder trial after a vulgar exchange with the defendant. The courtroom comments were laced with expletives and more.
Outside the Floyd County Courthouse, many had already heard what happened inside.
I'm not saying he doesn't have feelings, but don't be personal with it. Don't take it personal.
1 week ago, murder
sir.
suspect Denver Allen threatened to kill the family of Superior Court Judge
That
Brian
is a
Durham.
little OD.
This official transcript of the court hearing includes every word of what became a vulgar exchange.
Folks in the legal world expressed disappointment on behalf of Judge Bryant Durham, shaming him for his unprofessional behavior in the face of provocation, especially from someone who is known to have mental issues and who wasn't to be reasoned with.
What is really remarkable, and not in a good way, about this case is that the judge engaged in this really sort of deep down in the gutter trash
I guess that's
talking
also fair,
this
huh?
defendant.
What started with F-bombs dropped by Allen led to crude sexual references by both defendant and judge.
Using language that I have never in all my years of practicing heard a judge use, let alone a judge on the bench, in open court, in front of the public, on the record.
Former Fulton County prosecutor Tanya Miller says the judge had the authority to nip it in the bud.
There were deputies in the courtroom when this happened. Those deputies would have removed this defendant in a matter of seconds.
But for
Honestly, I sympathize with the judge, bro. Sometimes you just gotta let it out. You just gotta be toxic. You just gotta get out your system. And this was a perfect opportunity.
the majority of people online, they were fixated at just the batshit insanity of Denver Allen's rants.
I will murder you, your whole family, your kids. I am not supposed to be in jail. I was framed. That motherfucker asked me to eat his ass for a bag of coffee.
In the wake of the publicity regarding the case, Judge Durham would deem his own behavior unacceptable. He formally recused himself from the Denver Allen case and reached out with a recounting of events to Georgia's judicial watchdog agency. He would later issue a public apology and refer to his words as improper and intemperate comments. A formal investigation by the Judicial Watchdog Agency revealed that Judge Bryant Durham violated 2 judicial canons of ethics: failure to avoid the appearance of impropriety and failure to discharge his duties impartially, competently, and diligently. The judge was later admonished for his actions and agreed to undergo sensitivity training to better prepare himself for quarrelsome defendants. And what would happen to Denver Fenton Allen? A new judge would be assigned to his trial. Honorable Judge Billy Sparks was set to preside
Come
over
on,
the
good old
case
Billy
after
Sparks.
Durham had
Can't
stepped
mess this
away.
one up.
Unsurprisingly, in this trial, Denver Allen would yet again attempt to provoke, on many occasions threatening to kill Judge Billy Sparks' entire family.
I'll kill your whole family.
But this judge didn't take the bait and would simply dismiss Allen from the courtroom when he tried provocating. Allen's schizo rants weren't going to get him out of this one. In terms of his defense, Denver Allen would eventually admit that he did indeed kill his cellmate, but said that he did it in self-defense
I'll
as
definitely tune
his
into that.
cellmate was allegedly sexually assaulting him and he was being mistreated in the prison system. But due to Allen not knowing legal protocol and ignoring counsel at every turn, he improperly executed this motion. And because of this, the judge refused to allow him to change his plea, striking down the motion. Upon his self-defense motion being struck, Denver Allen would have an outburst in court, threatening to kill several people present in the courtroom as well as the district attorney.
Imagine you're sitting there and he's just like, I'll kill you. It's like, damn, what'd I do? I'm just watching.
This would prove to be a recurring scene during the time of this trial, with Denver Allen going on a vulgar rant threatening to kill people every time he didn't get something that he wanted. On the day of the trial's conclusion in December of 2017, the jury took just 1 hour to deliberate his verdict. Denver Fenton Allen was sentenced to serve life in prison without any chance of parole. Upon the jury leaving the courtroom, Denver Allen called everyone present trash and claimed that one of the jury members was a pedophile. If there's anything to be learned in this case, it's don't engage in a trash talk battle with a schizophrenic murderer. You're gonna lose every time, man, seriously.
Apparently,
Had Judge Durham simply dismissed Allen from the
this man's
courtroom
name
the
is
moment the
Denver.
trouble
He
arose,
had no
he would have
chance to
saved
be
himself from the
noble.
lowest moment in his career. But of course, if history were different and Judge Durham actually minded his temper during this altercation, we wouldn't have gotten the legendary exchange that would become the Denver Fenton Allen transcripts.
I boys.
Oh, I'm sorry. You prefer men.
I boys.
You prefer men, right?
I white boys.
You know, you look like a queer.
This man was a true wordsmith of vulgarity,
That cutoff
an
is just
individual
crazy.
capable of crafting
Stop
some of the
getting ads,
most
bro.
disturbing and
Do better.
offensive insults the courtroom has ever seen. One
Why
can
do we
only
have
imagine
ads?
the derogatory, slur-filled exchanges Denver Allen will have with inmates as he spends the rest of his life behind bars. And that, my friends, was...
You're consuming ads from a website that isn't giving you ads. It's crazy. It's a crazy world you're living in right now. All right.